Warcraft is a 2016 American action fantasy film directed by Duncan Jones and written by Charles Levitt and Duncan Jones. Based on the video game series of the same name, the film stars Travis Fimmel, Paula Patton, Ben Foster, Dominic Cooper, Toby Kebbell, Ben Schnetzer, Robert Kaczynski, Clancy Brown, and Daniel Wu. The peaceful realm of Azeroth stands on the brink of war as its civilization faces a fearsome race of invaders, orc warriors fleeing their dying home to colonize another. As a portal opens to connect the two worlds, one army faces destruction and the other faces extinction. From opposing sides, two heroes are set on a collision course that will decide the fate of their family, their people, and their home. Hi everyone, hope you're all staying safe. I'm sorry I haven't been able to post a review in a while. Things have just been a little bit hectic. But it has nothing to do with my health. I'm okay. It's just things have just been hectic. But Warcraft holds a very special place in my heart. I've been a long time lover of this franchise, and I still play World of Warcraft. I have a guild on Stormrage, although it's kind of been... my numbers in my guild have been kind of dwindling. I'm trying to build it back up. Never mind about that. If you want to invite to my guild, shoot me a message. We'll discuss more about that. But Warcraft holds a very special place in my heart. So revisiting this film was very interesting. You know, I really understand what Duncan was going for by using Warcraft 1 Orcs and Humans as the basis for Warcraft. But at the same time, we've seen so many stories of orcs and humans as the central conflict. He could have chose a real, much more unique story. You know, he could have chose Warcraft 3, Throws and Throne, as a much more unique story. Using Arthas as a huge selling point would have really made a very unique story. I understand, building a universe from the ground up. But at the same time, we've seen many fantasy films use orcs and humans in conflict with one another. It's definitely a fan's film, good and bad. There are certain Easter eggs and callbacks, from the spells to the weapons to the locations and even characters. If you're a fan, much like myself, you definitely noticed many things. But also, if you know your lore, you'll notice certain things were changed up. And I understand this was because to kind of simplify the story for the general audience. But if you know certain things in Warcraft, then you'll kind of know, if you're trying to tell a certain story, why would you change this? But again, lore changes and story changes to simplify for the general audience are nothing new. We see this in comic book films. So I'm not saying it's not an exact knock, but someone who's a Warcraft fan, I kind of wanted certain things to stay very much the same. Even if you didn't like this film personally, I will say this film's special effects in CGI were absolutely mind-blowing. The orcs were so lifelike. The Draenei, the dwarves, the elves, the griffins, the spells, the locations. It's so mind-blowing. There's so many things to list with the special effects that I was very impressed that this film managed to capture the world of Azeroth. It was just very impressive. I'm kind of split down the middle, but also kind of impressed with it at the same time. The human characters would it really, in a way, somewhat disappointed me. I will say that Travis Fimmel's performance was okay, but nothing really, King Lane, portrayed by Dominic Cooper, kind of really forgetful. The characters, for the most part, on the human side, were very flat and one-dimensional. Surprisingly enough, and you find this a lot in fantasy films, the characters like orcs are very flat and one-dimensional. In Warcraft, it's very much the opposite. Characters like Ogryn Doomhammer and Durotan, they feel fleshed out and fully formed. They're much more human versus the humans in this film. And a character like Gul'dan is very frightening. Daniel Wu's performance as Gul'dan, I absolutely loved. So it's very surprising in Warcraft, as I said, that the orcs in this film have more life to them and more emotion versus the humans in this film. Ramin Djawadi does a phenomenal job with the score. I absolutely loved it. If you don't know his work, he worked on Pacific Rim and has worked on Game of Thrones. Warcraft feels like a setup film. There's a lot of plot lines that are left lingering, and while the special effects are top notch, the story itself is very run of the mill. We've seen the conflict between orcs and humans countless times. If they chose the premise of Warcraft 3 as their story for the film, it would have been much more unique. And the performances in this film are very hit and miss. The orcs feel much more human than the human characters, which I found very odd. And it's a shame. As a Warcraft fan, I expected so much more. So revisiting this film in a way was very heartbreaking, because I remember seeing this film and loving it, yet now watching this film, I just feel it's okay. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed this review. Hit the like and subscribe button, and please comment down below.